Good day to everyone. My name is Kwaku Owusu from the University of South Australia. In today's presentation, my talk will focus on sensing and optimization of autogenous and semi-autogenous mills. As part of the PRIF Mining Consortium projects, my project is part of the comminution set. As my project is related to comminution, preferably the grinding circuit, the main objective of my project is to optimize the autogenous or semi-autogenous mill performance through real-time acoustic monitoring technique. If you ever imagine any discussion about the comminution, especially regarding the grinding circuit, the major concern that may come to mind is energy consumption, which has been proven consistently to be extremely high relative to all other unit processes on plants. That is the upstream and downstream processes. So if you look at this graph here, you can see that among all the other processes on plants, for example, the grinding consumes the most energy. The high energy consumption in grinding is usually linked to the feed ore that goes into the mill, which is usually heterogeneous in grade, hardness, and size as we mine deeper. The feed ore heterogeneity, especially that is hardness and size distribution, can cause high fluctuations and unstable plant operation, and also affecting other process variables such as mill speed and percentage solid loadings. In effect, there is a strong tendency for mill operators to lose control during the transient period when the mill or the feed ore changes in hardness and size distribution. Again, owing to the hostile and harsh operating conditions of autogenous and semi-autogenous mills, it is practically very difficult, if not possible, to measure, understand, and control the mill's internal events online. And that has been the major challenge when it comes to monitoring the grinding mills, such as the autogenous or the semi-autogenous mills. As the saying goes, if you cannot measure, then you cannot not also control. Now, the big question is how to monitor feed ore heterogeneity. So the ore heterogeneity in terms of hardness and size distribution. How can we measure that? Or how can we monitor that in real time to reduce the fluctuation that they are likely to cause and provide less varied operation or more consistent processing of the ore behavior inside the mill? Again, another question the lab scale AG or SAG mill acoustic response has demonstrated promising results for classifying different mill operating conditions. Again, the feed or heterogeneity or variability, which is known to cause high level of fluctuations or disturbances in autogenous and semi-autogenous mills, can be monitored in real time by exploring the mill's acoustic response. And finally, the mill load, which is usually determined with load cells or bearing pressure information and power draw relationship, can be predicted using few acoustic frequencies and machine learning algorithms. And that can also be done or be predicted with mill speed. Now, I would like to show some interesting results. And the first one is, this result is showing different laboratory scale operating conditions and their corresponding acoustic responses. And from these graphs, there is a high potential of exploiting the autogenous and semi-autogenous mill acoustic emissions to gain better understanding inside the mill and improve the mill performance or optimization. So you can clearly see that different operating conditions of the mill is so sensitive that we are able to see variations, very unique acoustic emissions that can be exploited to understand the internal dynamics of AG or SAG mills. Another interesting result is a result showing two ore hardness, that is model quartz and iron ore, in the ball mill grinding circuit and their acoustic emissions. Now, from these results, you can see that the acoustic or the energy in the acoustic signal for model quartz grind characteristics is relatively higher as compared to that of the iron ore grind characteristics. And from preliminary study, it was realized that the model quartz happens to be far harder than the iron ore. And it means that hard material are able to produce, they interact inside the mill to produce higher energy in terms of acoustic emissions than that of the relatively soft material grind characteristics inside the mill. Again, the result of the acoustic emission of these two rock materials relate very well or reflected very well with their mill size breakage characteristics inside the mill, such that, so you can clearly see that once the feed size reduces or decreases, the mill acoustic emission also reduces. And this can be attributed to the fact that once you break the material, it's a wet grinding process. So you break the material, the rheology, the viscosity of the ore begin to change, and it starts forming coat or liners or lining around the balls or the inner surface of the mill, and then it tends to dampen the effect of the ball to ball and ball to liner or lifter interactions and reducing the mill noise gradually. Now, from our study or our research, some of the benefits to the industry that we want to discuss also. My study or this research is going to help or provide real-time monitoring of, if impossible or difficult to measure parameters inside the mill, as it has been established that because of the hostile, the aggressive, the harsh condition, you are not able to see inside the mill. It's very difficult to have sensors to pick or monitor the mill in-mill event in real time. Also, this study will also help to improve the control of autogenous and semi-autogenous mill disturbances by providing consistent feed or processing and predictability for proactive actions. And finally, to improve the overall performance of autogenous and semi-autogenous mill, such as the energy consumption, which has been proven to be very, very high relative to all other unit processes on plants. Some future work that we would like to talk about, the first one is from the study of so far, the promising result that we've obtained from the laboratory-based experiment, the acoustic sensing technology should be expanded to large-scale autogenous and semi-autogenous to see the trends that we are having or getting from the laboratory is similar or the same as that of the industrial level. Also, as the male acoustic emission produce large frequency spectrum, few frequencies should be determined to correlate with critical process variables like the mill speed and acoustic, the solid loadings and acoustic, or pop density and acoustic, or heterogeneity in terms of hardness and acoustic, and many more. Or again, as the ore grindability tests such as bond work index test and sag power tests are usually laborious and time consuming, the acoustic sensing can be exploited to classify different ore hardness for faster ore grindability index determination. And finally, the study is calling for action to integrate the acoustic sensing technology in the grinding circuit to advancing industry state of the art in real time. As part of this project, we've been able to produce or publish 2 articles or papers in minerals engineering, and we also have a couple of peer review conference publications. At this stage, I would like to thank or acknowledge my supervisors in the presence of Dr. Richmond, Professor William, Professor Max, and my translation partners, Professor Chris from Magato and John from Manta Control, and our end user, BHP. We also want to thank the PhD students and postdocs in the PRIF Consortium and the state government of South Australia and all other stakeholders for supporting this project. Thank you very much for your attention.